The first time I saw her, the entire battlefield was burning. The sky above the colony world of Virex 9 glowed a deep orange, filled with smoke and streaks of plasma fire. Broken ships lay scattered across the metallic plains like fallen giants. Sirens wailed across the human outpost as soldiers rushed between defensive walls and artillery towers. And in the middle of that chaos, she stood alone. Her armor glowed crimson. At first, I thought she was one of the enemy. I was an engineer, not a soldier. My job was to repair the colony's defense grid and keep the orbital cannons operational. But when the alien fleet appeared above the planet 2 hours earlier, everyone had been dragged into the fight. I was running toward a damaged generator when the ground shook beneath my boots. Then I saw her. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, her body wrapped in sleek, alien battle armor that looked almost alive. The metal plates were layered and curved like overlapping scales, glowing faintly along the edges. But now the glow had turned bright red, like heated iron fresh from a forge. Around her, dozens of alien drones lay destroyed. She had clearly been fighting and losing. A wave of energy pulsed outward from her armor, knocking debris across the ground. Sparks flickered across the glowing plates. Overheating. Even from a distance, I could tell. "Hey!" I shouted before I could stop myself. She turned. Her helmet shifted, revealing a narrow visor of silver light. I couldn't see her eyes, but somehow I felt her gaze lock onto me. Then she spoke. Human. Her voice echoed through external speakers, calm but strained. "Run." I froze. The armor's glow intensified, spreading across her chest and shoulders like flowing magma. "This unit is entering overload," she continued. "Evacuation recommended." Behind her, a damaged alien war machine began dragging itself across the ground, its weapon systems slowly reactivating. And suddenly I understood. She wasn't our enemy. She had been fighting them. "Your armor's overheating," I said, stepping closer. "Correct. I can help." She turned fully toward me. "Negative," she replied. "Probability of explosion, 72%. Human survival chance minimal." I hesitated. Then I looked at the armor again. The glowing seams, the energy vents, the pulsing power core buried beneath the chest plate. I had spent the last 6 years repairing human combat exocets. Alien technology wasn't that different. Energy was energy. Heat was heat. And systems always had weak points. "You said 72%, I said. "Yes." "So, there's still 28%. For a moment, she didn't respond. Then the damaged war machine behind her fired. A bolt of plasma streaked toward us. She moved faster than anything I'd ever seen. Her armored arm shot out, grabbing me and pulling me behind her as the plasma blast struck her back. The armor flared even brighter, the crimson glow turning almost white. Warning symbols flashed across her armor surface. "Overload accelerating," she said. I could hear the strain in her voice now. I pushed myself free from her grip and ran around in front of her. "What are you doing?" she demanded. "Saving your life," I said. I dropped to one knee and opened the maintenance kit strapped to my belt. The armor's surface hummed with energy. Up close, I could see intricate alien symbols etched along the metal. Beautiful and terrifying. "You must leave," she insisted. "This armor contains a fusion core." "I know." I reached out and placed my hand against the glowing chest plate. The heat burned through my glove instantly. But I kept my hand there, because I could feel something. A vibration. The core wasn't just overheating. It was trapped in a feedback loop. "Your cooling vents are sealed," I said quickly. "That is impossible. Look at your back plates." She paused. Then the armor shifted slightly, scanning itself. Damage detected. Yeah, I said. Your rear vent array is crushed. The heat has nowhere to go. Another pulse of energy surged through the armor. The crimson glow spread up her neck and helmet. Overload in 90 seconds, she said. Great, I muttered. I pulled a plasma cutter from my toolkit. You will not have enough time, she warned. Watch me. I moved behind her and stared at the warped plates covering the vent system. Alien alloy. Harder than anything I'd worked with before. But heat made metal weaker. And right now, her armor was very hot. I activated the cutter. A thin beam of blue plasma sliced into the glowing plate. The metal resisted at first. Then it began to melt. Hurry, she said. I'm going as fast as I can. The battlefield roared around us. Explosions echoed in the distance as human fighters clashed with alien drones above the colony. But in that moment, it felt like the entire universe had narrowed to one thing. Cutting through that armor. 30 seconds passed. Then the first plate snapped loose and crashed to the ground. A blast of superheated air erupted from the vent beneath it. The armor's glow flickered. Temperature decreasing, she reported. Good. I cut another plate away. Then another. Each one released more trapped heat. The crimson glow slowly faded to orange. Then yellow. Finally, the armor returned to its normal dim silver. I collapsed onto the ground, breathing hard. Core stabilized, she said quietly. I looked up. Her helmet slowly retracted. And that was the moment I saw her face. She wasn't human, but she wasn't monstrous either. Her skin was pale silver, almost metallic, with faint lines of glowing blue running along her cheeks. Her eyes were large and luminous, reflecting the battlefield's firelight. Beautiful and completely alien. You saved me, she said. I shrugged weakly. Just doing my job. She studied me for a long moment. Then the ground trembled again. The damaged war machine behind us had fully reactivated. Its weapons powered up with a rising mechanical whine. Threat detected, she said, instantly switching back into combat mode. The war machine fired. She stepped forward. Her armor shifted, forming a glowing energy blade along her arm. The plasma blast struck her shield and exploded into a storm of sparks. Then she ran. The speed was unbelievable. She crossed the distance in seconds, leaping onto the war machine's back like a predator. Her blade sliced through armor plating as if it were paper. The machine tried to shake her off. She drove the blade straight into its core. The explosion lit up the battlefield. When the smoke cleared, she stood on the wreckage, victorious. She turned and walked back toward me. Human soldiers were starting to gather nearby, watching the scene with wide eyes. None of them dared approach. She stopped in front of me. You did not run, she said. You told me to. Yet you ignored the warning. I smiled slightly. Humans are good at that. For the first time, a faint expression crossed her face. Not quite a smile, but close. My designation is Heiress Vel, she said. I'm Daniel. She nodded slowly. Daniel. Then she glanced at the battlefield. More enemy ships were descending through the atmosphere. This conflict is not over, she said. Yeah, I replied. I noticed. She looked back at me. You possess unusual courage for a non-combatant. Or stupidity. Perhaps both. I laughed. Fair enough. Her armor shifted again, the plates repairing themselves with quiet mechanical clicks. Your actions have created a life debt, she said. A what? In my culture, when one saves another's life, a bond is formed. I blinked. That sounds serious. It is. She stepped closer. You repaired my armor, she continued, which means you understand its systems better than most. Well, kind of. Her glowing eyes studied me again. Then you will assist me. With what? She pointed toward the sky, where the alien fleet continued to descend. With saving this world. I followed her gaze. Then I sighed. You know I'm just an engineer, right? Correct. And you want me fighting alien war machines? You already did. I couldn't argue with that. Besides, she added, my armor may require further repairs. Of course it does. And you appear to be the only human capable of performing them. I stood up slowly. The battlefield roared around us once more. Ships falling, weapons firing, the fate of an entire colony hanging in the balance. I looked at Arisvel, then at the incoming fleet. Well, I said, grabbing my toolkit. Let's get to work. She activated her armor's thrusters. The crimson glow flickered briefly along the edges. But this time, it didn't look like danger. It looked like power. And as we stepped forward together to face the invading army, I realized something strange. The alien warrior who had told me to run was now trusting a human engineer with her life. And somehow, that felt like the beginning of something much bigger than either of us could imagine.